For this week's Goofy Award, which I'm going to file under never underestimate how impressed self-described progressives are with themselves and the contempt they have for everyone, and I mean everyone who doesn't hold their views. I mean, go back to the quote of the week. Hillary Clinton summed it up beautifully during the U.S. election when she called anyone who'd vote for Donald Trump deplorable, which is not much different from the profoundly dismissive attitude displayed by the Governor General last fall in a speech where she marginalized anyone who in fact believed in God, be they Catholic, Protestant, Anglican, Shia, Sunni Muslim, Hindu, which brings me to my Goofy for this week. This is the week when it came to light that in the past December, the federal government had changed the application for the Summer Jobs Grant Program. Under the new rules, applicants must agree by marking a box on this form that they respect charter rights, including women's rights and women's reproductive rights, in other words, the right to abortion. The Office of the Employment Minister has said without that confirmation, an organization isn't going to receive funding. Now, this potentially eliminates hundreds of religious-based organizations who work in the community, but they have nothing to do with whether they're pro-choice or pro-life. They do great work with the homeless or with addiction or children at risk and other vulnerable members of society. One of the groups is an example is Christian-based Mustard Seed, which I've actually personally donated to. And the CEO, Stephen Wiles, was quoted in the Calgary Herald as saying, and he sums up the sentiment of many faith-based charitable organizations when he stated in quotes, well, to the government, the issues of where you stand on abortion is more important than the work you do and the people you serve, and that's really sad. I say that's right. Now, personally, I may be pro-choice, but I respect the views of those who aren't. Well, that sets me apart, of course, from progressives like Mr. Trudeau and the Liberals. But the Goofy today has nothing to do with whether what their views on a woman's right to choose is. No, they're free to ban pro-life candidates from running under the Liberal banner. But to make agreeing with Mr. Trudeau's personal view on abortion and that of his government a condition of funding with taxpayers' money, I think that's way out of bounds. I mean, I wonder what Liberal supporters and pro-choice advocates would say if yet another government got elected and then made it a condition of funding to agree with one of their leaders' beliefs. I mean, what's next? Grant applications or maybe even people applying to work at the federal civil service being forced to put in writing their support for something like the Paris Climate Accord? Hey, maybe they'll have a box that they could tick that states you agree with the Paris Accord, but you get to take a helicopter ride to a private billionaire's retreat and in the process spew more CO2 emissions than the average Canadian a year. But that's another subject. Where I differ from Mr. Trudeau and all the prominent progressive left is I respect other opinions, especially a person's right to hold them. I have no indication that God died and left me in charge, and I see no reason to protect myself from opposing views. I don't need a safe space. I mean, after all, I don't think someone is deplorable for having a different view. Now, I happen to be pro-choice, but that's not what this is about. What puts me at odds with the progressive left is that I welcome differing opinions, while increasingly, at this latest move demonstrates, they don't even tolerate them. And by the way, that intolerance, disrespect, and contempt for individuals with opposing views is the fuel for a heck of a lot of the social discord and violence today. That's my Goofy. In the meantime, I hope you join me at the World Outlook Conference. All you have to do is go to www.moneytalks.net, buy your ticket. In the meantime, I hope you have a terrific weekend. Thanks.